everyone, I'm Melissa here and welcome to your Melissa Moment. Hello everyone, I'm Melissa here. Welcome to your Melissa Moment and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Today we are doing the Walk for Alzheimer's awareness and to raise funds in research and trying to, hopefully one day find a cure for this horrible disease. This is the second one that I've done. The first time I did this was like 10, 12 years ago. But we're just waiting here. The walk starts at 1 o'clock. So you can see I've got this wonderful t-shirt that I'm wearing. Also, they have a bunch of freebies for kids. So I got a glow flying disc, a waterproof cell phone case, and of course, bubbles. So those will be going home to my daughter. She'll be very excited about that. This is all to raise funds, and I started with a goal of $200, and I surpassed that quite quickly. So then I increased my goal to $500, and I also surpassed that. So I was very ambitious and put a goal of $1,000 to raise, and you guys, we did it. So thank you for all of those who donated. I really appreciate your support. As I had said, Alzheimer's is a horrible disease. One of my grandfathers had it, and I was quite young at the time, but it was tough. I remember. So I thought this was a great way to, walk in his memory and help by raising some money for them and also getting my exercise in, because you guys, this is Wellness Wednesday. So this is all about all kinds of wellness today. But we're here. They've got a DJ playing. There's a few people here, not a ton, unfortunately. I was hoping there'd be a lot more. But they do 2 walks. They do a 1 kilometer walk or a 4 kilometer walk. I'm going to be doing the 4 kilometer walk today. So I'm kind of excited about that. And it's a little overcast, which is good. So it won't be too hot, hopefully. There is a bit of a breeze. I brought my water bottle, my backpack. We're good to go. So I just wanted to kind of give you an look here of what is happening today on Wellness Wednesday. I'll probably come back later. I don't know if I'll do any updates on the way, but I'll probably do one at the end just to kind of let you know how the walk was and if there were any more events or things of that nature. They did also have a draw that I entered. I'm not sure what prize it's for, but fingers crossed. So yeah, thank you guys so much again for those who donated. Again, if you haven't donated yet but you want to, you can definitely just go to Walk for Alzheimer's. I'm sure there will be a link there. Or if you know me, we'll put the link in the description box as well. I'm not sure how long my personal link will be live for, but we will include it in the description if it's still live. If you do want to make any donation, again, any donation, small, large, it all helps. So thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye. And the walk has begun. We have about 200 people walking today. And the walk is done. It's a beautiful day. It was, according to the map, supposed to be a 4 kilometer walk. It turned into a 2.89. So I'm not sure if we went the right way or not, but we did have a leader that we were following, so I don't know. But anyway, the walk is done. It is 1:45. I think they might have a few speeches or things like that. They might have food for us, I'm not sure, but I will come back later and give you a final update. See you then. Hey guys, okay, I'm back with my final thoughts on this Wellness Wednesday of this Alzheimer walk that I did. Back at home, as you can tell, thankfully it was a beautiful day. It didn't rain while we were doing the walk. It did rain after. So that's a blessing. Um, First off, I want to just say how amazing and special this walk is. Um, every year they do this walk to raise money and, you know, come together. And it's very important. Unfortunately, Alzheimer's has been around for a long time, and we haven't really made a lot of strides in trying to slow it down or cure it. And it doesn't look like it's going to be going away anytime soon. And unfortunately, a lot of people are affected by Alzheimer's and dementia, whether directly or indirectly. And it's a horrible, horrible disease. Absolutely horrible. Like I had mentioned earlier, my grandpa had it. I was about 7 or 8, I think, when he had it, and he was put into a home. And I remember going to visit him, and he didn't know who we were at all. And I remember there were pictures and words on everything. So this door would have a picture of a bathroom and say bathroom. This would be a picture of a closet and it would say closet, because he couldn't even remember where things were or what things were. And it's absolutely horrible to see somebody that you love, somebody that you know, and they are a completely different person. Like, completely. They aren't acting themselves. They aren't talking like they used to. They don't know who you are. They don't remember if they have a spouse or children, or if they don't remember anything. And it's horrible. So this walk was really important for me to be a part of, and I'm so glad I did. Um, I, did hit my goal. Thank you to everyone that sponsored me on this walk and donated. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I managed to donate $1,072. So I'm very proud that I was able to help make that happen with the support of my friends and family. Altogether, there was about 200 people that registered for the walk. And with all of our fundraising efforts in Saskatoon, because this walk happens all over. So I know there was a walk here in Saskatoon, there was a walk in Regina, Ontario. There's walks everywhere for Alzheimer's. And just in Saskatoon today, we raised over $71,000, which is amazing. So thank you for any of you who have donated, whether it was this year or have donated in the past or plan on donating in the future. It really does help, and every dollar makes a difference. So now that the walk is over, there were a few things that I did notice. Some good, some not so good, confusing things. So I just want to talk about it. And first off, I want to just say thank you so much to all the volunteers that were there today. Um, it's really important, if you can be a part of this in any way, whether it's through a monetary donation, whether you donate your time as a volunteer at the event, whether you walk. There's lots of different ways to help organizations like this. And, it's really amazing that there were so many volunteers there today. I'm not sure exactly who specifically created this event here in Saskatoon. I know firsthand how much work and how much effort it takes to create an event, to plan an event, and to pull off an event. For those of you who don't know or maybe new to my channel, I used to be an event planner. I owned a wedding store. I would help create, plan, set up, take down, execute weddings and other events such as parties and seminars and, you name it, bar mitzvahs. I've done it all. I know it's a lot of work. And, I have been out of the industry for a while now, for about, 6, 7 years now. But of course, you don't really lose those skills. So I do want to give some feedback on the event itself. Now, this is in no way meant to disregard the effort that was put in or to make it sound like this was a horrible event, because it wasn't. It was a very important event, and for the most part, it was done with the goal being reached. I do feel, though, that I would like to give this in the spirit of constructive criticism, only in the hopes of improving things for the years to come and hopefully making those goals and those fundraising efforts even better. Because at the end of the day, the point is to raise as much money as possible for awareness and research. So, the first thing is I did get a few emails just saying, hey, your race, or not your race, but your walk is coming up. Can't wait to see you there. Registration is at noon. The walk starts at 1. So there were a few emails, which is great. I do feel like there wasn't a lot of detail in the emails, such as the length of the race or the walk. I keep saying race, but it wasn't a race. The length of the walk, no clue. The route of the walk, no clue. So there was a few things that I think could have been communicated a bit better. Also, they told us the location of the registration table. So, I mean, it was good. They did have tents up, so like, okay, here's where it is. They did have some signage, Alzheimer's walk. So good. When I got there, now I have done this walk one other time, but that was about 10 or 12 years ago. So the only knowledge I had was based off of my walk 10 or 12 years ago. So I get there and there is a table with a volunteer, I assume volunteer. I'm just going to call everyone a volunteer behind it. And I kind of walk up to them. I'm like, hi, I just need to sign in. And she's like, oh, just that table over there. Now, around the corner, they had another 6 or 7 tables, like those banquet tables. Okay, 6 or 7. And there wasn't any real clear signage on anything. So they had like 3 tables together, and it was hard to know because there was a group, a gathering of people. Nobody was in a line. Like, there wasn't any single file line. There wasn't any order at all. People were just gathered. And because of this, people being gathered, it was very hard to see the front where the tables were. Well, the front of the tables, on the tables, they had signs such as team registration, individual registration, and did not register online, because a lot of people register online, but there's also a lot of senior citizens that do this walk, and a lot of them don't either like to do things online or whatever. So they had 3 different tables for 3 different types of people. but you would have no clue until you literally get to the front because everyone was just gathered in a group. My suggestion would be to have those signs up higher, like on the top of the tent, maybe, so it was very easy to see, and make sure people are in a single file line just to make it a little smoother, because there were some people that literally cut all the way to the front because the lady that had the sign did not register online. There was no one at her table. And one lady who should have gone behind me just went right over to her because she was standing there doing nothing. And she was like, I need to sign in. They're like, oh, did you register online? Yes, I did. Okay, well, then you should have been in my line. But the volunteer helped her anyway. So, just little things like that. Order is a big thing for me. So maybe having like the actual signs on the top, right? Or, step 1, check in here, right? So fine, I finally get to the front of the line. I give my name. They find me on this printed paper and she highlights me that I'm there. And then they have t-shirts, which you saw in my video a little earlier. And she goes, what size of t-shirt would you like? I'm like, I don't know. Give me an extra large. Thankfully, the extra large fit perfectly. I'm like, great. So got my t-shirt. And while I was waiting in line, another volunteer came over with little draw slips. She goes, did you want to enter the draw? And she gave me a draw slip and a pen. Now, the bad thing about this is there was nothing to write on. So I'm literally trying to write on my hand in line as the line is moving. So it was a little messy and whatever, but I knew I wasn't going to win anything anyway because my luck is horrible. So whatever, that's fine. So after I got signed in, got my shirt, I went and put my little ballot in the little drop box there. And then there was like another 4 tables with people behind them. So the one table was just the ballot girl. Already did that. Okay, cool. Then there was a table with water. Cool, free water. So I had brought my water, so I didn't take a water bottle because I already had mine. I'm like, okay. Table beside that had tons of like toys on it, like brightly colored toys, which again, you probably saw a little earlier in this video. Just tons. And there were 3 volunteers behind this table. And there was no signage. There was no nothing. Just tons of these brightly colored toys and all that kind of stuff. And I'm literally standing right in front of these 3 people. Like literally a 1.5 feet away. The table's the only thing in between us. And I'm looking at this stuff. And in my head, I'm like, what is this? Is this like by donation? You get, because it's all about raising money, right? So I assumed. So finally, I'm just like, is this all by donation? And they're like, oh, no, it's free. And I'm like, oh, like it's all free? They're like, yeah, take whatever you like. Okay. Now, I didn't want to be greedy and take everything, right? So you saw earlier, I took a couple things for my daughter and a waterproof cell phone case. And I probably should have taken more waterproof cell phone cases, but that's fine. But again, no signage. Never would have known. Never would have known. Okay. Then there's another table with 2 more volunteers, and they have these little flowers. And then they have like what they call bibs, which are basically cardboard things that you can put on your back or backpack or whatever I'm walking in memory of, or I'm walking for, and you put a name on there, right? Just to kind of people know. And again, I walk up, I'm like, hi, what is all this? Again, like no one really greeted me. No one told me where to go or anything. So they're like, oh yeah, if you want to write a name of remembrance and put it on here, you can. If you want one of these, you can take. I'm like, okay, great. So I do all that. Okay, fine. They also had a DJ playing there, which was great. It was nice to have some music. And then by the time I did all that, there was still like a good 30 minutes before the race actually started. So I went and used the washroom, and then I was like, I don't know the route. No one's told me. I visited all the tables. No one told me. So I went back to the girl at the ballot table because she seemed the friendliest. And I was like, yeah, what's the route? Like, don't know. And she's like, oh, 1 second. And she went and talked to another girl. And she came back with 2 little maps. And because they're doing 2 distances. There's a short walk, which is approximately 1 kilometer, or there is a long walk, which is approximately 4 kilometers. And she has 2 maps. She goes, which walk would you like to do? I said, the long walk, please. And she says, oh, the long one. Okay. Which made me believe that not many people were doing the long one. I don't know why. It's just her reaction made me think that. So this map was horrible. There was no there was maybe 3 landmarks on it, and that was it. Like, there wasn't even any streets or any, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like, I don't even know what this is. Okay. And then she said, so I said, are there going to be markers as you walk? You know, like, as you walk, usually you hit your 1 kilometer mark. There's usually something there that says, hey, you're going the right way, or something. Your next kilometer, there's another one, right? Like, just so you know you're going the right way. And she's like, oh, I don't know. Just a second. And she goes and talks to another girl. And the other girl at this point comes over. And she's like, I don't know if there is, but you will have a leader. You'll have someone leading your walk. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Like, if there's someone leading us, perfect. I didn't know that, right? So I was like, oh, okay, great. That's all I need to know. Thank you. And I go and I'm waiting and, for the walk to start. And finally, around 1, like maybe a little bit before 1, someone gets on a microphone, which, again, the microphone was not loud enough. It was really hard to hear. And the guy started saying, welcome, blah, 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 thank you, all that kind of, all that stuff. And then they had brought 2 girls who owned a Pilates / yoga studio to do like some warm-up stretches and stuff with everyone before we headed out on a walk, which was, I thought, a nice touch, right? So do that. I took that opportunity to go use the bathroom again. And then they also thanked all their sponsors. London Drugs was a sponsor. I assume they donated the water, my guess. And I'm pretty sure they also thanked a pizza sponsor. I'm like 90% sure I heard a pizza place thanked. Now that would make sense because 10 to 12 years ago when I did this walk, afterward, free pizza for everyone who did the walk. They had free pizza. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. It's for all of us after. Okay, cool. So then they were like, okay, we're going to start with whoever's doing the long walk. You guys will be following the people here in the orange hats. And they literally had 2 bright neon orange hats that they gave 2 people, and they put them on, and they were leading the walk. And then they said, anyone doing the short walk, we will start a little bit after the long walk people. Okay, makes sense. I would say the majority of the people there did the long walk. I would say that was the majority, which I think is amazing. I was all ready to do 4K. I was like, yeah, let's get this 4K. Let's get it going. Now, I also, a long time ago, I did videos on virtual walking with medals that I started like pandemic. I still have some medals I need to walk for to get. So I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity for me to walk for a medal as well. So I had it all set up. I was ready to go. I needed to walk 5K to get my medal. I thought, perfect. I'll do a 4K walk here. Then I'll walk home after. And that's about another K. I'll get my medal, no problem. So that was my plan. So we start off on this walk. And I'm about the 5th person behind the leaders in the orange hats. And I was keeping up. Like, they were doing a pretty good clip. I was keeping up. I was right up there. Everyone behind me everyone was just kind of going at their own pace, which is fine. But there was like a big gap. There was like 7 of us, and then like a huge gap, and then slowly more walkers were kind of trickling after us. But I tried to kind of enjoy the walk, take in the nature. I took some pictures, which I'm sure we've included or we will include here, so you can see some of the things that I saw on the walk. And we were following these guys. Now, I have my GPS on to track my steps and my kilometers for this medal, so I know exactly how far we've walked, right? We got about a little over 1 kilometer, and there were 2 volunteers sitting in chairs. And as we got up to them, like they had one of those little, like noisemaker clappers where you go like this and it makes a clapping sound. They had one of those. They were like, hey, you're here. And they had water, which great, smart. That was smart. So they passed out water if we wanted it, all that kind of stuff. That was cool. Now I was expecting that every kilometer. So I was expecting 2 more of these stations, right? Every kilometer. So that would have been 3 kilometers. And then once you get back to your base, that's your 4th. So I was expecting 2 more of these little volunteer stations with water. A tip I would give as well, these little water stations, you definitely need to have one every kilometer. You also should have sponsors at these tables. Now, what I mean by that is, as a fundraising effort, you should sell advertising at these water stations. So instead of having volunteers, let's say, I don't know, Comedy on Demand, which is an amazing entertainment business here in Saskatoon. We'll put the link in the description if you guys need any entertainment, specifically stand-up comedians, but we do other things as well. They could rent the table to hand out water as the walkers go by and have brochures and stuff about their business, right? For a donation to the walk. Just a thought, might help the fundraising efforts a little bit. And businesses like to get involved as well with these kinds of things, right? So that's a tip for maybe next year if any of the organizers are watching this video. Now, after we hit this little water station, we kept walking, and I noticed that we were going back. And I'm looking at my kilometers, and I'm like, that's not right. There's no way if we turn back now, this is going to be 4 kilometers. So there was no more water stations. There was no more. That was it. There was just that one. There was no more. We did not walk 4 kilometers. Oh no. We only walked 2.89 kilometers. That's it. Not even close to 4. So I don't know what happens. I don't know if the leaders in the orange hats went the wrong way or cut it short, or if this was the correct route and they calculated the kilometers incorrectly. I don't know. But it was not 4 kilometers. It was only 2.89. I don't know. I was a little disappointed because I really wanted my medal and I did not get it today. I'm going to have to walk more tomorrow to make up for it, but that's fine. So that's fine. Now, the other thing, as we walked back, okay, we came up where the white tents were, and most of the volunteers were eating burgers. Okay, now there is down on River Landing a little snack shop, okay, and they sell food and ice cream and all that stuff. And it looked like the volunteers had gotten burgers from that snack shop while we were out walking. So as they see, like, we're like the guys in the orange hats are there, right? We're walking. Now, I fully expected the volunteers to clap, maybe a few, woo, yeah, you guys did it, amazing, a little bit of something, I don't know, Maybe that's expecting too much. I don't know. They did not even get up. They didn't, nothing. They did, nope. They like, did not say a thing, did not get up, no nothing. Now, there was also a photographer going around taking some pictures, but nothing. Oh, no, nothing. And not only that, the people in the orange hats that were leading us, they literally led us back to the beginning, and that was it. They didn't turn around and tell us any information. They literally went and found some people and just started talking to them. And that was it. So I'm standing there like, now what? Because my email said registration at noon, walk from 1 to 4 is what it said in the email, 1 to 4. By the time we did our little 2.89 kilometer walk, it was only 1:40. So again, no clear communication, no clear direction, no nothing. I had messaged my husband saying, hey, walk's over. I don't know what happened. It was only 2.89. And then he was like, oh no, can you go back like 500 meters and wait? Because we're on our way. We have a surprise for you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. So I went back and he messaged me, okay, we're ready. And I'm like, okay. So I did kind of the last part of the walk again. And my husband and daughter were there. And my husband had made a huge sign, which you saw the picture. Congratulations, AMelissaMoment with my face on it. And she's holding it up. And they're so, like, that was my cheerleaders. Like, they were just, my daughter was just like, yay, Mom, you did it. She was so proud of me, which brings a tear to your eye as a mom, right? Because you want your children to see you doing these things that are making a difference, that are impacting something or someone in a positive way. So that meant a lot to me. So then I was like, yeah, thank you, the whole thing. And then I said to my husband, I'm like, so I don't know. Like, I don't know what we're doing now. I know they have draws to do. And then it was like around 2:00. They were like, okay, we're going to do the draws for the door prizes. And everyone had kind of grabbed a little seat or whatever. And I was like, okay. And I knew I wasn't going to win because I'm not lucky, and I didn't. But even doing the draws for the door prizes, like, number one, the microphone was way too quiet. Number two, they took a long time in drawing, reading the name, and giving it to the person that won. Like, it was painful. And I think there was only like between 5 and 8 door prizes. But again, it's like, oh. And again, I feel like with something this big, they could have done more with the door prizes. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, having 5 to 8 door prizes is amazing. They don't have to do that at all. But wouldn't it also be awesome if they had like huge gift baskets full of donated product from Saskatoon businesses that people could buy raffle tickets for? Again, trying to increase those fundraising efforts, or even doing a 50-50 draw. Just again, trying to increase those fundraising efforts. There's so many things that could have been incorporated, included, that I think could really have, brought more donations to the table. Again, $71,000 is nothing to laugh at. Like, amazing job and effort on, everyone that was a part of this today. Um, but I just, with all good intentions, I think just doing a few of these things I might have mentioned in the future might help make that an even better, event. Um, Another thing that was disappointing is there was no pizza. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. No pizza. They did not give us any food after. Pretty much everyone went to the little snacky place there and bought food. Um, which is confusing to me because one of the sponsors was a pizza place. So I don't know, unless I heard it wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard them mention a pizza place as a sponsor. So I don't know. Um, Again, I don't feel that it would be that difficult if I misheard. I don't think it would be that difficult to find a business, a pizza business here in Saskatoon that would be willing to donate pizza for this walk, for the volunteers and the people that did the walk. I think I even know of a pizza business that would be more than happy to donate pizzas for this event. So, another thing to think about, uh, if the person who is part of organizing these events is watching this, just another thing. Um, yeah, and that was it. A little hit or miss for me as far as the way it was organized and the way it was executed. But again, I have an event planning background and maybe my standards are just a little higher than some other people. I don't know. But I do feel like their hearts are in the right place. They're amazing people. I just think adding in a few things, changing a few things, reworking a few things, I think this event can go from good to great. 200 people on this walk is a lot of people. But in the grand scheme of how many people live here in Saskatoon, not really that many. I think by changing a few things in the planning stages and the advertising stages of this event, I think we can grow that 200 people to 2,000 people. I really do. I really do. Um, so those are just kind of my feedback on the events. I'm glad I did it. I will do it again. Um, and who knows? Maybe next year it'll be even better than this year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little Wellness Wednesday. Sometimes doing something like this, walking for a cause, whatever cause it may be, sometimes that's all we need for, just our souls. Because Wellness Wednesday is about all things, right? Whether it's our mental health, emotional health, physical health, heart health, soul health. There's so many things that are important. And this was great. It gave me some exercise. It helps an amazing cause. And I encourage each and every one of you, wherever you live, whether it's Canada, the States, wherever, I guarantee you that you have some sort of walk for some sort of cause at some point. I encourage all of you to look into it, find a cause that's near and dear to your heart, and whether you walk, raise money, volunteer your time, even just spreading the word and letting other people know about it, that all helps too. So I encourage all of you to do that wherever you may be. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.